Good morning. How are we? So today we've got Glen Powell. We're going to do a workout review of his. He was the annoying guy in Top Gun Maverick. He's done a bunch of other stuff as well recently. He is certainly climbing the A-lister ladder. But he looks great, so we're going to learn a couple of things. This is a men's health video, so I apologize in advance for all the nonsense that we're going to have to hear. But there will be one or two snippets that we can learn from. And hopefully there's some stuff that we can take home with us. So let's get into it, and we'll carry on.
So we're going to start with deadlifts. Deadlifts are going to work hips and back, and for me, that's the most crucial part of not getting hurt on set. That kind of just gets the entire base. It works everything so that no matter what sort of stunts you do, your foundation is strong, so you're not going to get hurt. The only thing that...
Yeah, I mean, so I think in this movie they were out in the fighter jets themselves. Now, I happen to know that fighter pilots tend to be quite short, but they also are really big, and they've got these amazingly strong neck muscles. So deadlifts certainly contribute to all this, because you are using a huge amount of you're using your full body effectively in deadlift. It's one of those exercises. It's one of the big three for a reason. Does it carry through to bodybuilding? Potentially not. I know a lot of people talk about things like the stimulus to fatigue ratio, and I think that's a fair thing to be referencing. I took out deadlifts from my programming personally because for me, just like 2 or 3 days later, I was still tired from those deadlifts. So, but coming back to Glenn here, Glenny, we'll call him Glenny. Yeah, I think building that foundation is fair, especially if you're out in those fighter jets. It's intense, and you need that posterior chain right from the top of your neck all the way down to your coccyx. So it's a good start. And 3 sets of 8, nice rep range too. Well done, Glenn.
If that doesn't work, is the chest, one of the cinema muscles, as Stallone calls them.
Back, up. That's better. Well done. Good. Awesome. Oh, look at that. You can do it by yourself.
Eddie's the Romanian.
I think what's quite nice to see here is you can see that he is in reasonable shape, but he's not huge. He's not super lean and super jacked like you see them in the movies. And I think what's interesting about that is it's actually showing a bit of vulnerability on his part, and it's also showing a little bit of realism as well as what it takes to get to be in shape when you see that scene in the movie. Because there's an assumption from us as the audience that you think, oh, he must always be in that shape. Oh wow, how do I get in that shape? Why am I not in that shape? Why, you start comparing yourself. And actually you can see where he is now he's in reasonable shape, he's okay, but he's not clean cut, and he's not super chiseled. So I quite like seeing this other side to it. I think it's brilliant.
Terror. So what we're going to do here is we're going to work up to 100 pounds in each hand, and they're going to be low reps. Going to be 6 to 8 reps per set, 3 sets of 100.
I hope he's going to have a decent amount of rest time in between. That's pretty heavy.
Sometimes you just got to get yourself psyched up to get your ass kicked. Every time I walk in the door, I'm always like, rest this. This is the full service part of the gig. I don't put any articles of clothes on my body unless Eddie puts them on for me.
Hey, Vertigrips. Good stuff. Yeah. I mean, if you're watching this, maybe you know about grips already. I'll just go through it really quickly. Your forearms are way weaker than the rest of your muscles. So if you try and lift something really heavy and you're not using grips, your grip strength will give out before the muscles you're actually trying to train. So use grips, use straps, I should say, so that you don't fatigue before the muscles you're trying to target fatigue.
That's it. Good. If you do heavy weight, you can't just muscle it up, otherwise you get hurt. You good?
Really nice controlled reps there. Notice how he's not slamming the weight on the floor. He's just touching the bar, and that's ensuring that no momentum is being used there. And momentum is pointless when it comes to training muscles, other than maybe the last couple of reps on the last set. But on the other sets, with the rest of the reps, try and keep it super controlled like he's doing here.
Mondays on Mondays. Let's make that a hashtag. I'm learning you keep the technique and flex at the bottom, and then you get to the top and you're flexing everything and really keeping it precise. You can, max out 100-pound dumbbells without getting hurt.
But the thing is, like with you,
Really, really good bit of advice there. Absolutely, is the not getting hurt thing. Again, if we go back to momentum, as soon as you start losing control of what you're doing, then that's when disasters start to happen. But if you are engaging the muscles from the bottom of the range all the way to the top, you are really fatiguing that thing rather than starting to use your joints, your limbs, and things like that to make up for the muscle fatigue. So this is fantastic. Excellent little bit of insight there.
we have to work a little bit more, being slightly more patient, because your mentality is about going mental. Like,
60 to 90 seconds rest. That sucks.
There's some issues we need to uncover there. I don't know. This is usually where Eddie and I take things to a new level.
We'll put some weights on my waist. That's gonna be working the back and the lats to make sure it's extra hard, to make sure we get a full workout, and just to show off a little bit.
get it! That's it.
And we're gonna that's usually to failure.
Intensity. Yeah, failure. This is something which I've really started programming, and something which I'm starting to recommend. Lower volume, higher intensity. It's a lot safer to train to intensity when you go low volume, because you're giving your body plenty of rest in between those workouts. And yeah, this is excellent form again. And I think for me, I love doing pull-up variations. I think it's a fantastical back exercise all around. And it engages a lot of biceps as well. Notice how gymnasts, they have these enormous biceps, huge things, they're like bloody mountains. They do a lot of pulling work on bars and things.
And then we're gonna do ring push-ups. That is where you have these hanging rings, you put a weight on your back, and that's gonna work your core.
Okay. I think I'm not having this one. So I trained with rings a lot during lockdown. And the DOMs you would get were fantastic, but I would never really progress massively with it. So the problem here is you're relying on balance, which is taking away your ability to. It's taking away your strength. So can you imagine you're doing a squat, but on a BOSU ball, you're lifting very little weight in comparison, because your body's having to make up for the fact that you don't have balance to be able to really power through. So this is not ideal. I mean, so they've already done the incline press with dumbbells. I can see how this could be programmed in, but again, if you're really looking to get jacked, I would leave some of this stuff out. This is not terribly helpful.
Or it's just gonna blast everything.
Because you have to maintain a plank with weight on your back. Every muscle in your shoulders and arms, it fires up everything because these things are moving and you're trying to keep them stable. These particularly suck, but I think one of the most impactful things, if you're trying to rip up the top half of your body, beautiful. Don't try to be a high school hero right off the bat. Build up to it. Eddie always looks me in the eyes. He's like, can you do more weight? And I'll always answer you honestly if I can do more, even if I don't want to do more.
Go. Finish it. Hold. Got it. Beautiful.
That's how you get your ass kicked.
And then from there,
Hanging knee raises.
Yeah.
If you're trying to find football montage abs, this will shred you up, no doubt.
this is
notice he does a really good job of getting the hips curling above vertical. That's how you do it. You do not do hanging knee raises by just kicking your knees up. You've got to really bring your hips over, and basically, effectively, what you want to do is you want to imagine your knees touching your shoulders. That's the effect you're trying to get to.
Where you'll really start seeing the abs pop. It doesn't feel good, but it is the quickest way to dust off some abs that have been hiding from you for most of COVID and quarantine.
Yes, sir. Let's go. One bit.
And then from there, the rows, which obviously work the back, that just strengthens everything. You don't want to strengthen one side or the other. You want to make sure it's complete. The key with that one is not going up, it's going back. Here, you want to see something real quick?
Go ahead.
You sit on the back seat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fly the jet. It's a stick, throttle. So now we're going throttle up, bank left, throttle up, bank right, de-throttle. Now pull, going up. That's Top Gun. That's how you train for Top Gun. And then we're gonna end with some strongman stuff, and that is the most brutal of it all. A weighted sled and some rope pulls, and that is just where you go all out, scream, be angry.
Yeah, this final section, this is effectively some kind of hit. It's which is great. It's fantastic for raising the heartbeat, and really get the blood pumping. So it's great. I mean, you can see. I suspect this is less about trying to really build a serious physique, and this is much more about trying to look as best for a shoot. So add these finishes in like this when you're wanting to lean down a bit, but when you're bulking up, I'll probably leave some of this out to the side. You can include it if you want. Maybe if you're training for a sport, add it in. But if you're kind of just training because you want to look big and you want to feel big, I would leave this to the side, just because it's inhibiting fatigue levels, and you really want to maximize recovery on the muscles you're targeting. But this is good if you're a movie star, good if you're trying to get lean as well, looking good for the beach.
Think about everybody who's wronged you in your whole life, and then push and pull a sled as hard as you can.
It's not daily office. Well done.
All right, so that was my workout. It sucked, but just like Top Gun, it's all about competition. And if you want to be the best, you got to put in the work.
Yes, you do, Glenn. Interesting. I think this is actually one of the better men's health videos I've seen. I think the least favorite stuff is the ring-based work. That's not that necessary. I would suggest that. This is a really nice a really nice upper body session. I mean, they did start off with deadlifts. I wouldn't have programmed deadlifts into this. I think deadlifts are a lower body emphasis, or something that you do on a lower body day, certainly. But I think the rest of it makes a lot of sense, actually. I think the 60 to 90 seconds rest, notice that they were doing that throughout the workout. I think you can take that or leave it. I've actually put all my rests up to between 2 minutes and 3 minutes, because for me, I'm all about focusing on intensity rather than speed of workout. So, but I think he makes a marvelous point around making those hundreds feel intense all the way through the movement. I think that's probably one of the best tips he gave. So I think all in all, I think this is actually a pretty solid workout. So Glenny, you're a good lad. I think this is actually pretty good. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much.